Hey, y'all. So we are back for another amazing episode of the Entrepreneur Expansion. And this is a brand new thing that we're launching within the Entrepreneur Expansion, that it is a specific type of episode called Business Expansion. It is a 10K in 10 minutes business upgrade you audit. And you might be wondering, well, why are we doing this? Well, I started to realize after helping hundreds of clients, this is one of my superpowers to help people with this and build out this aligned ascension for them to get results, but also how to do it without sabotaging ourselves, because that's kind of my superpower, is to help people. We get information and then we do nothing with it because we're really our human our human subconscious mind loves to make things more difficult than it needs to be. But I'm super excited to have Diane be our first participant in this experiment, and just really go through this because I checked out her business, I audited her business, and she has so much going for her and just so many amazing things that she's doing. She's extremely talented. You need to know her. And before I even get into it, I just want Diane just for you to just kind of like share who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive in because I know people are going to want to get to know you.
Yes, thank you so much. And it's so cool. This is the
Absolutely.
first one. Ooh,
Yes.
okay.
Number
So
one.
in Nnaemeka, I'm an astrologer, but I specialize in moon work. And basically, this is using the moon in your astrological chart to pinpoint your patterns, things in your life that might have been hard. Like there's so much in this particular placement in your chart, and transform it in your life and in your business. So that's what I specialize in. And I love working with the moon. There's so much depth to it. So
I
yes, that's
love
what I do.
this. I love this. And there's so many people. I mean, there's a massive group of people that are heavily affected energetically by everything that you're talking about. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. I mean, we're made up of, maybe it varies from person to person, but they say 70% water. I'm like, what if it's 68 for this person? What if it's 73
Yeah.
or like 79?
Yeah.
But definitely, we're made out of mainly water, and the moon rules the waters. Like in full moon energy, they say that people act like lunatics. And I'm like, hello, that's not for just for nothing. So, yeah.
I love that you said that because when I was a full-time teacher, I taught for 18 years, and I swear, y'all, like what Diane is saying here is straight facts. I every time I would have a day that I call it not a bad day, a character building day. It was always like I would look at the I would look at the moon cycles and I'd be like, oh, okay, this is why the children wear crazy pants today. So I love that you shared that, and I'm just so excited to take you through this today. And just so you know, folks that are listening, I know I call it 10K in 10 minutes. That's just, it sounds good. If this takes 20 minutes or 30 minutes, stick with us for the ride, because this can not only help Diane, but it can help you see how this might work for you. And I'm going to be doing many of these, so maybe you'll be the next. So we're going to dive right in and first talk about like the quick power insights that I noticed. So you have a unique, powerful niche. Okay. So you're combining, like you said, astrology and strategic coaching. And that is, everybody's looking for a differentiator. And that definitely is a differentiator for you, hands down. And you're attracting consistent leads. Like I looked at your socials and all that stuff, and people like what you do, and you have people that are drawn to your vibe. And just getting to know you just now, like I can understand why, because you are a very energetic, magnetic. You have a very beautiful, energetic, magnetic personality, which is really cool. And this is the bigger thing, and something that I'm super passionate about, and I know you are, is really helping people deeply. Like you're just like you care so much about humans and you want to help them at the deeper levels that they necessarily couldn't necessarily see on their own. Would you say that's correct?
Yes.
Cool. So that's where I'm like, all right, cool. We have three game-changing upgrades that will skyrocket your business. So the first one is packaging your wisdom into a signature framework. So making it yours, the thing that makes you you and the uniqueness that you bring to the world. So right now you have a vast toolkit and you're kind of customizing every experience for each person, and we can mix that, right? Like we call it a hybrid, where it just allows you to meet people where they're at, but you have a more of a framework that helps them move along so they know where they're going, but you can tailor each step as they go through it. So we distill all of your wisdom into a powerful branded signature method is the goal. So just something that I was playing with this, the celestial success blueprint, a clearly repeatable process where they feel fully guided and you can confidently command premium pricing without the mental load of reinventing the wheel. So this is you stepping into a framework that can become your calling card, and it gives your audience instant clarity and trust and excitement. Because I was explaining this to a lot of the clients I take this through. When people hear your offer, right? Some people might be like, that's kind of woo woo or whatever it is. But a lot of them, and this is just me from being a teacher for a long time, they need to see like a path, like a plan, like a very clear roadmap of, okay, she has a plan, she has a formula and a way that this works so that they have some tangibility behind it. So then they feel like, okay, I see this. Because if you think about like imagine a bridge over a lake of like lava, and it was missing one of the boards, right? So you have all of these boards that are taking you across, and each board is part of your framework. It's part of your system to get you to go to the other side. If it's missing a board or two boards or things that they think they would need in order to achieve a desired result, they're gonna be like, I'm good. I'm not walking across this fire lake without boards missing. I'm not doing that. But when they see that you have it all and you have all of the pieces that they would need to be successful, they're gonna be like, let's go, Diane. Where do I
Wow.
pay? Okay. Does that make sense?
Also, I love that name. You said celestial success.
Yeah, it's
What was the last?
yours. I gave it to you. It's all for you. The Celestial Success Blueprint. And of course, we could trademark it and all that stuff, but it's just really designs and it's very clear, like it's just a beautiful connection to what you do and how you do it.
Mhm.
And we can, of course, turn that into consistent leads and premium sales, which is the next part. So, you're attracting leads right now. Whether the leads are buying, that's a whole different ballgame. But we want to make sure we're uh, ascending these people along what I call a aligned ethical ascension, which we're going to get to in a moment. But I think a lot of people are treating everybody the same, and they're like, "Oh, just join my high level package and pay me all this money." A lot of people aren't even close to ready for that. So we want to meet them at the lower level in a free information type of way, and then a mid tier or a low ticket type of container where they're really feeling good with you and how you do things. And then by the end of all of that, they're going to really self-select and decide whether they're good to go there, as well as making sure that you are bringing in the right people that you want to work with as well, because not everybody is a right vibe for you. They might be okay paying you, but you knowing that they're the right fit for you and you for them, right? That's a relationship. So that's the key to that. Does that make sense?
It sure does. I've had some, actually, in having different kinds of clients, because my thing with clients for me is that I've had clients, but it hasn't always been consistent. And part of it is because I've shifted. I think before this call started, I was saying that, like, I know what I'm doing, but if something doesn't work just for a little bit, I like throw it out and to try to stop doing that. But honestly, this does make a lot of sense.
Oh, and I got you. Just wait. You don't even know what's about to come. This is good. You're good. You're gonna love this. So I got you on that front as well. So, what ultimately the key is b building like a premium program like a $3,000 or more offer, and then crafting a messaging and positioning that clearly communicates the tangible transformation. Right, that's got to be key. So if they it's not just a service. Like a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to put this amazing thing because it's amazing to you and me. We would probably geek out about it. But a lot of people, they need to know, like, okay, what is this going to create in this third dimensional world that we live in? Like, how is this going to serve me? And then the next part is the unique power of combining astrology and strategy. So this is going to be really powerful. I had a woman that I was on my staff for a little while, and she was a feminine embodiment coach. She taught me so much about how like basically like making your sales cycles work within your cycle, or if you don't have a cycle, it's like using the moon cycle. So that's why when I saw your offer, I was like, oh man, this is super dope. And like there's so many ways you can connect this for them to see how to energetically align their promo cycles, their lead generation, their sales cycles with them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, helping them see within your messaging and your positioning why your offer is the next step for them. Okay. And
Mhm.
once you shift, this makes sales easy. Like it's you stop feeling like a chase and you just start to
Mhm.
flow naturally. So that's where we build, well, like I said, we design and align client ascension system. So the whole goal, and you can picture it like this, is like they start with a maybe a free astrology quiz or opt-in, kind of like,
Mhm.
I mean, this is an example of a front end for me where it's free and it's just super valuable and it helps people feel really good and really connected to the person, right? Because my way of doing things is I always think caring connections, selfless serving, and aligned ethical ascension and just moving people along based off of what's best for them and what aligns with me. So when you can really show up and give people a lot of value up front, and then you can hook them by getting them into a paid workshop of some sort where they can experience quick wins. So we can think about like what would they want to what would be a quick win out of your and we pull it so we design the $3,000 core offer and then we figure out what's one piece that we could pull out of that that's just a beautiful quick win and we create a workshop that as you can see, would be cohesively connected to that next level. So then they're like, oh my goodness, this was so good. What does Diane's high level stuff look like? And now
Wow.
they're ascending naturally at that point into your premium one-to-one or coaching or group offer. I like to think of so like mine is a hybrid therapeutic group offer where it's a mix of one-to-one with some
Mhm.
rapid transformation therapy and other things mixed together. So it really is nice because it's a simple system. It builds trust, it nurtures the relationships, and it makes it effortless to convert at a higher level. So it's just less about working harder and more about and even less about working smarter, but it's working right for you. And
Wow.
any questions on that before we go into making sure that you're not building stuff and then throwing it out?
So I like the idea of because I've been thinking about it, making sure that there's some flexibility. Like it's not something where if you have a program, it's maybe just one meeting per week and then that's it. Like you can
Yeah,
throw other things in there, or you don't even have to do one meeting a week. It could be like once a month, but in the month you're giving out like other really valuable information. Like it's something for me to remember because sometimes when you're looking at maybe even like following other people in the space, it can seem like it's one way, but there's no way it's one way, which is why I even respect
exactly.
when some people, I guess in the space, you don't always see maybe the different things that they offer because it is very tailored. Maybe you're not offering your clients the exact same thing. Even in a signature framework, it's still like a little different, a little tailored. So I really like that.
I love that you like that, and that's the thing. So like within my program, I have
Mhm,
group calls that they can come to. I also have a one-to-one once a month that they can do. I
mhm.
have what's called rapid transformation therapy, so that they can work through their subconscious programs. I also use an app called Marco Polo, so they can send me messages back and forth. And it's really
I like
interesting.
this job.
Some people only use the group calls. Like they just do that. Or some people like to not come to any of the group calls and they just like using the back and forth Marco Polo. And now we're just communicating, once, twice, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week, and we're just going back and forth and solving their problems instantly. And some people just prefer doing the one-to-one calls. And it just gives them a plethora and a mix that allows them to get the information and actually get results more than anything. So
Yeah.
you can still have a framework and give them the way that works best for you and for them. There is, and anyone that's listening, there is no one size fits all. Do not let any
Yeah.
business coach tell you that you have to do it this way, because I will tell you that your subconscious will kick back on that and it won't be efficient, and then you get angry with yourself. You're like, "Why isn't this working?" It's because it wasn't designed for you, y'all. Like it has to be right for you. That's why that's what we're doing here. So I have something exciting to show you now, and this is where it's all good to be able to build all this stuff and do it all, but we need it to be subconscious and energetically aligned with you. So I created another little side piece here, and I just included it in your document. So this right here is your integration plan. So based off of your saboteur profile, you had a higher like pleaser, like wants to serve, but may sometimes sacrifice your own needs and undercharge for what you offer. And then the hypervigilant is like constantly scanning what could go wrong. It can lead to stress and overthinking. And then the last one was the hyperachiever. This was my top one. So driven to succeed, but may over identify with external validation. So this was me like trying to chase being good enough most of my life. So I started to realize we need to just shift it a little bit. So in phase one, your emotional and energetic safety. This is the first thing that I had to do for myself personally, because I needed to know that. So my favorite affirmation was, I create my safety. This is what allowed me to
Mhm.
leave teaching and lean into the fact that you can create something amazing here, folks. And it begins with, grounding and visualization. I'm safe to be seen, supported, and successful. If you're a fan of EFT, emotional freedom technique, and tapping and breath work, you can also do those to support your central nervous system and really just make sure you are feeling connected to this. And then affirmations with confirmation. So my power is safe, receiving is generous, structure gives me freedom. And this is something where we want to find things in your life currently or in the past that confirm these affirmations to be true, because many times people try affirmations and they don't work because their mind calls bullshit on them. And so we have to confirm them with things that we've already had in our life to actually make that connection. So for example, receiving is generous. So thinking about what's a time in your life where you have received and it was a win-win for both you and them. A lot of people think of selling as a win-lose scenario where they are getting money from someone and somehow that person isn't getting results, which isn't true at all. But our subconscious likes to believe that, which is what kind of throws us off. So then we get into phase two, which is the build and launch with boundaries, which is super duper key. So we're going to be creating a signature framework and premium offer, and you may feel the urge to over customize or over deliver, or even like you said, take it and throw it out. because that's what the hyperachiever likes to do, and the restless likes to try different things and jump from thing to thing to thing to thing. So what we do is we create your structured signature framework in three phases to confidently say, this is how I work to help you get these results, right? This is the path. Now, even though it's a path, it looks different for everybody. And my framework is designed to deliver the best possible transformation. Let's walk through it together so you can get the full results. So it's really walking through people and connecting what's going on for them or what they've shared with you with each step of your roadmap and plan. So now they're like, man, it feels like you made this for me. And that's a beautiful thing. And then, most importantly, set one weekly done is better than perfect deadline to override perfectionism. So making sure it's always something versus all or nothing. Just get it done, put it out there. And whenever you notice you're overthinking or saying yes too quickly, pause and ask yourself, is this aligned with my energy and offer? Or am I trying to prove my worth? This changed my life because I was like, oh, I'm just trying to do this thing for my internal programs, which didn't actually serve me. Does that all make sense?
Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, working with the subconscious, like I've started listening to subliminals because I'm like, brain, you are going to calm down. You're going to stop bumping, skipping, flying. You're going to relax.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that yeah, so follow if and this is important in what you just said. It's like if you follow the three-part rule to build your ascension system, it's like one opt-in, one thing, right? They go into this one thing, and then that leads them to one workshop. Okay? So let's say they did an astrology quiz, which led them to one workshop that leads them to one premium offer. Simplicity always allows consistent flow and scale. So it's boom, boom, boom. They're less confused. You're less confused. Now, when they get into the premium offer, you can tinker and create, especially if you have them in a one-to-one capacity. There's so much you can do there. And it just makes it so much easier for them. I call this the water slide. So they come in and they're going down, 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 and then they're going right into your pool at the end. But what happens to a lot of people is they confuse it and they're adding different things, but they're not finishing it. So I like people to think of it this way. It's like if we put people in your water slide, but they are either getting stuck in the slide or they're getting shot out the side and landing on the pavement. And that's what happens, I know for me when I'm building stuff, like my mind jumps from thing to thing to thing. So I'm like, nope, we're going to build this one thing, we're going to stay focused, and we're going to finish this. And then once this is done, then I can let my mind do all the fun, shiny things that it likes to do, but we got to build this first so we don't injure people as they're going down our water slide. Does
I
that make
feel this
sense?
so much.
Exactly, exactly. So that's kind of that piece. And then calendar block, a 1 hour CEO integration session. So weekly reflect and simplify and adjust. And if I, this is kind of like a journal prompt that you could use. If I trusted that less was more, what would I let go of today? So if I just thought about this for a second, what could I let go of and not overcomplicate this any more than it needs to be, right? Last little piece here, rewire identity around receiving and selling premium. This is probably the biggest challenge a lot of the clients I come across deal with. And it's really like it's 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 not tactical, it's energetic. Like it's holding on to, like most people are holding on to scarcity, control, or over efforting will unconsciously block high ticket sales all the time, right? So when you think about this way, I like people to do like mirror work daily. So an example is like, I am the woman who sells and receives at the level of my soul's service. And then when you do this, you look into the mirror and you say, the price of my program is blank, whatever it is, right? Let's say it's like $3,000, but that is something that's new to you. You look yourself in the eye. What happens to a lot of clients is they'll look away because that feels uncomfortable right at the moment, or their eyes will look away. And so it's just continually to look yourself in your own eyes in the mirror and just start to embody that price point and really just stay in it, because the facts are that you have something amazing and it will help people transform their life. We just need to, you know, package it, position it, and message it correctly, with also you upgrading your energetic alignment with being the person who will actually deliver that, right? And can do that. So here's just like the transforming your saboteur patterns into strength. So instead of the pleaser, heart-centered magnetism, right? Hyperachiever, visionary leadership, hypervigilance, strategic intuition. So this just more aligned with you, and you can go through why this will create more expansion. So instead of overgiving, right, you're creating your signature framework and your boundaries. Instead of overthinking, you're simplifying and you're doing weekly integration. Instead of undercharging, you're identifying work plus premium messaging. And instead of avoidance, action triggers and micro habits, like I like to think of this as activation, right? So a lot of times we are building things and we get triggered by something, and then we kind of get off track. But it's like, what if we felt more activated by what we're doing, because it feels more simple, it feels aligned, your clients feel good about it, you feel good about it. Just makes selling so much easier. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I want to touch on something that I
Please.
realize in anyone who works like in and like energy or spirituality or art. I had this talk with a friend the other day. I think sometimes maybe we have a tendency to undercharge because maybe there's something in us that feels that because it's not like maybe directly business or it's not dealing with numbers or things like this, that the service isn't as valuable, but that couldn't be far from the truth. But then it's still somewhat a pattern of like can be undercharging and undervaluing. So I think this is really great because a big part of it is it really doesn't matter what you do. It's just like holding this standard for yourself and making energetic space, because it really is energy at the end of the day. And
Oh,
sometimes
that's
it
all it is.
look like anything. Like if you're just looking, you see nothing.
Totally.
Then maybe it's not real, but it's just energy. It's not meant to be seen that way. I mean, some people can see energy, but it's meant to be felt and experienced. So,
Couldn't
yeah.
agree more. And you're spot on. This is one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of my clients have to overcome is and this is where there's missing space in I noticed in the business world. It's like you can, like, I could build out all of your help you build your offer, your messaging, your positioning, your lead gen strategy, your sales ascension system, your fulfillment, all the things, right? We could build out all the things in your business, but if you're not being the person to deliver all of that and do those things, it won't ever happen. Like, we won't have it. Everyone's trying to go from the have do be or the do have be, and they're missing that the being is it's like probably the most important uh piece to start from, right? The energetics of this is so key. And a lot of times they're blocked by our subconscious programs that lead us to believe like we're not enough. I can't tell you how many times I've done like helped people with like unblocking money blocks, and it's all the time. It's just like they're really good givers.
Yeah.
Like, I have no doubt that you're a fantastic giver. I can already tell. And the reception part, right? The receiving is the other side of this, right? It's like if you tried to, and this is a perfect example for you. We think about how the moon and water work, right? So the ocean actually oceans because of the moon, right? And so if like, I like to think of the ocean as like the breath of the world, right? So it goes out and it comes back in. That's why I love just being at the ocean and just doing breath work and just hearing it go in and out. It's the breath of the ocean. And so I want you to try something with me real quick, Diane. So I want you you open to doing a little exercise with me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So ready? So I'm gonna have you just breathe out. I'm just gonna have you breathe out. Ready? Breathe out. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, and don't ever breathe in again. I'm joking. So that's what happens. That's what happens when people don't receive well, right? They're breathing out. You were like, I can't breathe out anymore. They're breathing out, but they're not breathing in, right? And so that's the thing. We have to be able to breathe in and breathe out evenly, energetically. So if we're really good at giving, we also need to be really good at receiving because the people that you're giving to won't receive it as well if you aren't open to that clear energetic exchange. It's a wild thing, and I can't explain it more than that, but that gives a good demonstration to it. Cool. So, one other thing that's part of this. So, there's a whole piece here. So, in going back to your plan, and this is your expansion blueprint, all of the pieces that we talked about there, step one, step two, step three, step four that we went through today. And so the next logical steps are build out your premium offer, design your magnetic messaging and sales assets, and start converting leads into premium clients. And I created an entire self implementation plan for you to how to create your premium package and premium offer, how to go through it, the whole thing, and then how to build your magnetic messaging that attracts aligned clients, exactly how to go through all that, and how to set up a simple sales flow to convert premium clients. So from, free opt-in, follow-up, nurture, email sequences, all that stuff, and then how to create content to promote your offer, and then using all of this with your existing audience to test, the conversion rate of this, and then making sure that you have a aligned, simple script for premium calls and DMs, so just making it super simple for you. And then, like I said, the subconscious and energy support along the way. So rewiring your identity so success becomes natural, not forced. So the mirror work, the breath, groundwork, all that journal prompting, all that stuff. And then I included some optional tools that you might need, and the timeline week. So within 30 days. So if you put together your premium offer, build your magnetic messaging and sales copy in week 2, setting up your ascension path and promoting it in week 3, and beginning outreach and nurture sales in week 4. So this is very doable. And a lot of people are like, well, but how? And we could talk more if you need any support with that. But that's kind of the basic framework. And like when we go outside of that, like trying to like go off of that, which like we've talked about, everybody likes to, our minds love to make things way more difficult than they need to be. It's really that simple. Within a 30-day span, all of that can be done. And remember, done is better than perfect. And
Yeah.
then we go out and start testing all of this and experimenting with it and tweaking it. And that's how, I mean, most of the people are becoming really, really successful because they're just taking imperfect action. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And the reminder of just doing it, even if it's not perfect. Oh
Bingo.
my gosh.
Bingo. Any questions about any of this, or thoughts or ahas before we wrap up today and you go and start putting this into play?
The ahas from it were just sometimes even if you know certain things, it's good to hear it from someone else because maybe it really is just the way the mind works, just the things that are just swimming in your mind that are just
Totally.
not true, or it's actually quite detrimental to you. Like I've had this habit. I don't do it as much as I used to, but like something will happen and then it's like the negative self-talk is just automatic. It's like,
Yep.
why would you do that? How could you not understand this? Things like that. But then really catching how that would make me feel in my body, I started feeling like shit, to be honest. And I was like, I
Totally.
can't keep doing this.
I love that share that you just shared because that's how a lot of people feel, but nobody talks about this stuff. And that's really why I wanted this show to be way more than just like strategy. Like
Mhm.
expansion isn't just strategy, y'all. It's energetic, it's identity. There's so many pieces to this. And if you're just trying to work on your positioning and your marketing and your messaging, that stuff's great. It is something that you do have to get done at some point, right? But if we're not the person, then we're going to sabotage it over and over again, right? Like one of the best things a lot of my clients always say is they love the idea of, always something versus all or nothing. Always something versus all or nothing. It's just a shift, a reframe. And that gets our mind and body on board because your mind controls your body and your body builds your business. That's it, folks. So where should we start? Probably our mind. And then we're
Wow.
going to be able to achieve what we want and make this happen. Cool.
Yes. In a way, this kind of reminds me of working with the moon because working with the moon is a whole lot of things you can't really physically see with your eye. Like there's
Yeah,
this video I watched some time ago where the guy was saying that when you're building your business, you are walking by faith, not by sight, because you don't
yeah,
know when things are going to happen or exactly how it's going to happen. Some people, it's like boom, like it's just like outward success. Some people it takes longer, but there's nothing wrong with that. But you're
totally.
still you can never truly completely see everything, but that's
Yep.
where we get lost because we think you're supposed to, but that's not how it works. So I really, really appreciate it.
Bingo. And we're going to leave on that note. That was awesome. So, folks, like always, keep showing up, taking action, and you will get results. Have an awesome day.